Hi everybody, hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, welcome to my TypeScript lessons. First of all, I'd like to present myself to you for the new beginners or newcomers. My name is Hasan Zeki Alp. I'm an engineer, a retired engineer, Bachelor of Science Electrical Engineer. I have this degree. And after active business years, professional years, I decided to retire after retiring years. And since a year, I decided to learn modern programming languages, and so far I have already completed many tutorials, many online courses, and I have certificates for them, about them. And for the time being, just as I promised, as a New Year message, as a harbinger, I decided to start up TypeScript lessons, and this is gonna be a lucky day to start up an English version of these lessons. And let me talk about TypeScript and JavaScript family a little bit. As you know, JavaScript is a script language that is used for website development, both server-side and client-side operations, transactions. And so far there have been so many derivatives of JavaScript. In fact, TypeScript is one of them. In fact, actually, TypeScript can be assumed as a JavaScript. JavaScript, however, TypeScript have more loose syntax rules, and it's more close to written English, in fact, and also it's used for dynamic web development tools, frequently used, and that's why for the developers I decided to prepare a TypeScript lessons course for that. It's gonna be a long run, I think. It's about 100, more than 100 files that I've prepared so far, and as long as my upload time allows me, I will go on our lessons. And let me show you the development environment that I've been using for presenting you. Of course, this is ECLIPSE IDE I use to develop and to present, prepare such lessons here. And so far I have created root here, the directory here, and I will show you one by one to you. Just I would like to show one thing. In order to run any TypeScript file like this, okay, it is very similar to JavaScript, as you see. And in order to run this TypeScript file, first you have to convert it, or you have to compile it in order to be a file with a JavaScript extension. For that you have to load, or you have to install TypeScript compiler, I mean Nodejs.exe, and there are some ways to do that. One of it just to use npm utility here, and by applying this command string, you can easily install TypeScript compiler to your utility, and I have already do that, and just it's ready to run. And how to run it? Just I go on the file and right click when I see TypeScript TypeScript compiler, and after using this one, after performing this one, it's created the similar file with the same name, and with extension JS, JavaScript stands for JavaScript, and after that it's very easy to run it by using Node utility. Of course, Node should be installed in your machine, just like this, Node.js. And as you see, this conventional traditional message hello world is displayed on my console. And this is the very welcome file for the new beginners, and from now on I will go on our lessons like this, and each step I will show you this example file or code snippet or other saying, and after that I will convert it to JavaScript by using TypeScript compiler. And after that, I will run JavaScript file. Just you can see here, it's somehow a little bit different from the JavaScript syntax. Actually, semicolons are optional. It's up to you to use it or not. And here I define a number variable. I define a variable which name is num, and its type is number, and this is the value that's gonna be assigned for this variable. And simply I just recall my console log method, and I use this argument so as to be printed on the screen. I simply recall my method. This JavaScript, and I recall my Nodejs.exe, and 12 will be displayed on the screen as it is expected. And how about the third TypeScript file, this one, and here I create a greeting class, okay, in TypeScript. And just you can see the effective area of this greeting class. Okay, greet is a method which is a member of this greeting class, and within this method I use this member method, just we can call it like this. And this by means of this member method, I try to display a hello world message with exclamation marks. And how to use it, in fact, of course we have to create an instance of this greeting class, just as you can see here, with open close parentheses. Do not forget this, please. And semicolon is optional, as I said, and this is the name of my object, in fact, obj, and just it is up to me to use to recall a method here, a method of this greeting class, and object.greet will do that. And when I write this command, it's gonna recall this greet. It's gonna call an instance of this greeting class, and after that it's gonna recall greet method, and greet method will allow us to display this message here. And just in order to save some time, I will skip compiling each step, because I've already compiled this TypeScript file, and after that I created a JavaScript extended file, and it's very concise, as you see, you guys, where greeting is created instead of class structure. Okay, this greeting actually is a function that's gonna be recalling greeting method, and the greeting method also, just I'd like to make it a little bit lower, yes, smaller, and this method will recall another this member method, hello world, and when I create an instance of this new greeting class, okay, and it's gonna create a template of this greeting, and when I set obj then dot greet, so directly this method will be recalled, and hello world with exclamation marks will be displayed on the screen. Hello world with exclamation marks. Okay, how about TypeScript file 4? I here assign some variables so as to be a string and integer and floating point, and I name it as name. It's gonna be a string type, and John will be the data, will be a string to be assigned for name, for variable name, and the other numbers, the other variable will be a score, and it's of course a number, integer number, as you see, 50, and I here define another variable here, score2, and it's going to be a number, of course. However, this time it's going to be a floating point, or yes, decimal with decimal point. Number with decimal point, and I hear another variable here, sum. It's going to be addition of score first and score second, and after that it's turned to display the results, and this is the paraphrasing expression name, and name will be called here so as to be printed as John. And how about the next console log command method? Sorry. For the second and third console log commands, first score and second score will be printed out as score first and score second, and after that the sum of scores, after this paraphrasing, sum will be recalled so as to be addition of sum of score first and score second. Let me run this one. I've already compiled it. I run this by means of Nodejs.exe, in fact, and this is first score, second score, and total of scores. Just I would like to attract your attention here. The result will be a floating point, in fact. As you can see, just I would like to show you one thing here. Just instead of running this file, just I could prefer it by means of my Node.js command prompt, demo file 004, node demo file 004 gs. Okay, as you can see, you can see the same result as a result of performing this Node.js command prompt. This is the longest way, or conventional way, in fact, by using black screen. John, first score 50, second score 42.5, and sum of scores 92.5. will be the result with floating point. This is a traditional way. However, by means of ECLIPSE IDE environment and by means of Node, of course, just I can accelerate or I can facilitate this performance, this execution by means of this Nodejs command. It gives the same result. Okay, let me show you another example here. File 005. I here define a string variable here, ts. Okay, it's gonna be a character or just we can say a string str, and this time I define another str so as to be a number, and I especially mentioned this number will have any type, and it's gonna be str. Actually str is now type number, it seems number. However, when I want to print out the type of str, in fact, okay, it's gonna show different from this expression. In fact, just I have already compiled, and I would like to show you this by running 005 file string. It's surprising, however, this is a feature, this is a characteristic of TypeScript. In fact, this is just for using. However, its own or its authentic type of str2 is a string, will be printed on the screen. This is an example. This is another example. Okay, 007, 006 TS, I will show you. Here I define a variable as num. It's gonna be integer, and I would like to print out the value of num here, and after that I assign num as 1 to within quotation marks, as if it's a string, and after that I would like to make it run, and I would like to display it. And this is the relevant JavaScript file that I've been already prepared by performing TSC compiler, and very similar to TypeScript syntax, as you can see here. When I run this one, okay, value of 12, value of number is 2 is printed, and even if I assign num this string, okay, it's gonna accept this string as a num. In fact, this characteristic is called as invert. This data type invert is a number after that. It's an interesting capability, in fact. Okay, let me show you another here, and demo file 007. I here define some variables here. By means of this example, by means of this code snippet, I would like to show you the difference of global variable and local variable and class variable, and of course static fields. And here outside of our class definition, I define a global number which is called as global, as you can see, 12, and within this class definition here, okay, up to here, okay, I define a variable num underscore val variable, so as to be 13. It's called class variable because it is inside the class scope, in fact, and this is another assignment, variable assignment. As well stands for static variable, and static as well is going to be assigned as 10, and we call it static field. It's in fact it's a field, okay, and there is a method here, a function here, okay. We can call it a method within the scope of TypeScript, and within this scope I defined another num variable, local underscore num variable, as you can see, and it's going to be 14, and it's called local variable. So we have got two types of variables, global variables and local variables, and within local variables we call it class variable and static field. These have the same inherent capability, and how to use these different types of variables in order to print out on the screen. I use console log method, global num, and this is the paraphrasing, and global underscore num. Just this value will be printed out, it's expected, and after that now I recall console log method with these arguments, numbers as well. So I right away look numbers class, and number class with as well static val is gonna print out 10, okay, and after that I once again create an instance of numbers class with a name of object, okay, and after that I recall this console log method with this argument, object.num value, and I've already compiled this one. When I run this one, yes, okay, just as you can see, first as a result of the first console log method, 12 is printed out, as you can see here, okay, and after that I urge it to print out this number as well, as you can see here. 10 is printed on the screen by means of this console log, okay, and after that I create an instance of this number class, and I recall this method num value, actually not method, it's a variable value, and 13 will be printed out as a class variable, and that's it. And yes guys, it's about more than 20 minutes in order to overcome uploading problems. I just have to cut this lesson at this point. So far I have presented you 7 TypeScript and JavaScript codes, and after that I will go on this type of lesson description to you. Thanks for your time, thanks for your sharing time with me. I hope you found it useful, and if there have been any irritations, just you can go back and listen slowly the course, the contents of this course, and you can contact with me whenever you have any question. Thanks for your time once again. Bye bye. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks beforehand. Many thanks for you. Bye bye.